In this video, I'll explain the selection tools in Adobe InDesign CC 2015. Now, at the very top of the toolbox, there are two arrow tools. The first one is the selection tool, which can be accessed using V or Escape on the keyboard. And then the second one, the white one, is the direct selection tool, which can be accessed using A. Now, if you've worked at all with Illustrator, you understand the purpose of both these tools. But if you don't, that's okay. I'll show you how they work. First, I'll go ahead and draw an object. So I'll just click on the rectangle tool, click and drag, and release. And then go back to the selection tool. Now, notice how when I clicked on the selection tool that we have some anchor points or control nodes around the corners and the middles of that object. And we also have a blue anchor point right there and a yellow one right there. Now, the white ones that go around the corners and the sides allow you to resize the object. So clicking and dragging will allow you to change the shape of that object. And then if I hover the mouse over the corner points, you'll see the mouse cursor changes to a curvy two-sided arrow. And if I click and drag now, I can rotate it. Let me undo that with Control Z. So those are the basic uses of the selection tool. You can move it, you can resize it and reshape it and rotate it. Now, this handle right here, the blue one, allows you to drag into text to anchor an object, or shift drag to make an inline object, or alt drag to open the dialog. So that's just a special feature that if you're working with inline objects or we want to put it into text, you can use that feature, that button. And this yellow one allows you to edit the corners. So if I click that, notice how the corner points have changed to yellow diamonds. And if I click now and drag and release, I can make curvy corners. I'll just show you that again. I'll click and drag even more, and you can sort of change the curvature of the corners of this object. I'll go ahead and undo that twice to get back to our original object. So that's the selection tool. Now, the direct selection tool works differently. I'll go ahead and select that. Notice how we've lost the yellow button and we've lost the center anchor points. We've still got that blue one there, and that allows us to do the same thing to anchor objects, work with inline objects, or open the dialog. But here we have smaller control points at the corners. Now, if I click right now and drag, notice that I'm moving it, okay? So no different than the selection tool. And that's because right now all four are selected. I can see that. They're a little hard to see, but they're all dark blue. But let me go ahead and just click away and then click again on this anchor point. So just that one is selected. Notice how that one's blue and these ones aren't. Now, if I click and drag now, I can reshape that object. I can also click on any of the vertices. Notice how when I hover the mouse over any of the lines, that little line appears next to the arrow, and I can click and move that vertex. Okay, let me move this one here just to show you how that works. I can lasso multiple anchor points to move them, or I can even hold down Shift and click to add. So I had these two selected. I've Shift clicked to add the third one. And now when I click and drag, notice how I'm moving those three anchor points. So you're probably getting the idea of what's going on here. The selection tool allows you to select and make certain modifications to objects, where the direct selection tool allows you to reshape objects. And that's an important distinction, because that brings the tools in InDesign closer to what if you're working with Illustrator. Now, at any time, if you want to, you can go ahead and move an object. As a matter of fact, you can do this with any tool that you selected in InDesign by holding down Control. So remember, I've got the direct selection tool selected, but if I hold down Control and click and drag, I can move this object. So you can get that selection tool kind of approach or functionality simply by holding down the Control key with the direct selection tool or any tool that you selected. Finally, there's another feature that's worth discussing with the selection tool and direct selection tool. Anytime you hold down Alt, you'll see a plus sign appear next to the mouse cursor. And if I click and drag now, I've actually created a copy of that selected vertex. Okay, so whatever you selected, if you hold down the Alt key, you can duplicate it. I'll show you that with the selection tool. I'll select this object again, hold down Alt and drag, and now I've duplicated the object. So there are two tools that you have to become very familiar with and their inner workings and how you sort of manipulate things. Once you've grasped that, you're well on your way to creating some really fascinating publications with Adobe InDesign CC.